And Jeff, conversations are needed, so that's why I want to bring in Syracuse Police Chief Kenton Buckner. Chief, thanks so much for taking out time to join us this evening.
Thank you for having me.
All right, you've been watching, you've been listening to the protesters in Syracuse. What have you, as a police chief, been hearing? What needs to change in Syracuse to fix what you think might be broken?
I think some of the consistent themes have been police accountability, transparency on the part of police departments, stronger relationships, specifically in our Black and brown communities, and an opportunity for the community and police departments to work together for some of these mutually desired destinations.
And have those conversations been taking place? Are you making progress since all of this?
Well, we feel like that we were making progress, and this certainly has highlighted some of the things that are going on both in our city and around the country. We've been doing many things that the community is calling for as it relates to these partnerships, trying to get to root cause of some of the problem-solving things that have been going on in our community. It certainly is no secret that Syracuse, like many other urban communities, has challenges on a day-to-day basis, and again, specifically in our Black and brown communities.
All right. On Saturday, we're hearing of another demonstration being planned. There's talk of a march of upward 1,000 people. What preparations are being made for Saturday?
We have a plan. I can tell you that we believe that the event will be safe. The vast majority of individuals that have protested in our city have been peaceful, they've been lawful, they've been very accommodating in working with us. We did our part to ensure that they have a safe event. We have had a couple of incidents where a small percentage of individuals have attempted to hijack a good cause, and we will certainly be prepared for that on Saturday.
And we understand some roads are going to be closed to drivers starting tonight?
Yes, in and around police headquarters and City Hall, which are two of the locations where the events are scheduled to take place or likely to take place. One of the things that we've learned about the protests is that they can be a little bit unpredictable, but we will certainly be flexible enough to address that if that occurs.
All right, because we go back a week ago Saturday when those protests turned violent by a handful of people. And so this is a step to prevent that. Anything else going on to prevent, those spurts of violent acts?
Well, we want to continue to work with the promoters who have called for the individuals to actually come to these protests. They've been very good about trying to assist us in pointing out troublemakers. There have been several instances where key stakeholders in our community have assisted police in putting out some of the agitation that's going on in some of the crowds. So we will certainly lean on some of those individuals again to assist us.
All right, and we know that organizers in Syracuse, and they told us this yesterday, they've got a list of demands. They want to see changes in Syracuse, and they're joining protesters around the state. They want to repeal Law 50A, which shields police misconduct records from public view, and they want Syracuse police officers to live in the city of Syracuse. Your feelings on that?
Well, I'll unpack that backwards as you presented it to me. We presented a plan, an agreement with the PBA that would bring officers to live in the city as a part of a contract with the union representatives. We're in the process of appealing that to attempt to go through the arbitration to see if we can make that a success. Both the City Hall and the PBA agreed to have that as a part of the contract. And then the other part is the 50A. We certainly want to work with our community, our legislators, to do what we can that's fair to everyone on all sides of this situation.
All right, Chief. Got to ask you this, being a member of the media, it was kind of hard for all of us to watch because it was caught on camera. Syracuse.com photographer Dennis Nett shoved to the ground while covering the protest outside the PSB by a Syracuse police officer. We know there's been an investigation. Where does that stand tonight?
Well, it stands that we're still conducting an investigation. We have a process by which we investigate those things. We immediately put that under investigation because it's very, very important to us. It's certainly important to the media. It was a very tense situation going on at probably the climax moment of Saturday night. So we certainly understand that there are a lot of things going on. But once we've had an opportunity to do a thorough investigation, to speak with all parties involved, then we will certainly make the appropriate decisions after that investigation is complete.
All right, and finally, Chief, today, there was a memorial service for George Floyd. Somber event followed by more than a week of upheaval around the United States. If you could just take this moment and share your thoughts with us.
Well, I would first, send our prayers out to Minneapolis, which was ground zero for the things that we're seeing across the country. The problem is that many communities have seen the Minneapolis incident occur in their local communities. It's not the first time that it's happened. It's not the first time that our communities have complained about this. We are seeing it in rare occurrences to where it's actually captured on video, which I think is part of the frustration of many of the people that they want successful outcomes of this, that people are held accountable for their behavior. I believe that it was appropriate to charge the officers for the incident. We will see how that goes in the court process, but we ask that individuals continue to protest peacefully and lawfully. We certainly want to work with them to exercise their First Amendment rights, and we look forward to continuing our partnership with our community to try to improve the overall relationship.
Chief Buckner, I wish we had more time because I'd like to keep this conversation going. We thank you, and we invite you back as a regular guest here on News Channel 9 because we need to be transparent. So thank you.
Thank you for having us on.
All right.